Hello, Sonic movie fans, and welcome to episode 103 of the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that's about Sonic news, and Sonic movie news, and for the first time past September, or I don't know, I realized I was going to start as if like it's the first of the year, but it's not. We just have a new like picture. We're doing a movie review. We do movie reviews also on the Sonic Movie Show.
I thought you were just talking about like in general. I'm just like, what is he talking about?
First one since episode 100 that we did a movie review.
Yeah.
You could tell because it's got new movies in the picture, including the one from this one. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about the movie Bloodrayne. My name is Ethan, and with me, as always, to watch these movies is Devin.
Here, I'm happy for the ride. Do you want what kind of quote do you want? Like, what kind of vibe are you feeling for this one?
Feeling, well,
'cause I have a couple
sometimes
different vibes.
I'm feeling a Michael Madsen vibe, but today I'm feeling a Meat Loaf vibe. Give me a Meat Loaf quote.
All right. You want a Meat Loaf? I don't have a Meat Loaf quote, but I have a Meat Loaf vibe quote from the movie, if that works. What do you know of pain?
Oh, what's her name says that to the boy before they fuck, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing gets me more horny than like when someone questions my
ability to have a past.
Yeah.
In this shitty world. Like, bro, like,
where you can't
woman, you've been in the circus the whole time. You have no idea this is what this man's done. That is a very ignorant quote. Very, very ignorant line for her to say. We watched Bloodrayne, the 2006 film by Uwe Boll. This movie grossed a total at the box office of, can you
500 million.
Give me a guess. Oof, no, much lower.
400 million.
Much lower.
$10.
Higher. Give me a real guess.
Okay, like 50 million.
Much lower.
10 million.
Much lower. $3.6 million. This movie grossed. Yeah, this is a this movie is at the bottom.
It's
floating there with
Mortal
I don't know.
Kombat
I almost
2.
feel like Mortal Kombat 2 and Spirits Within are better. I honestly do think that those
Spirits
movies are
Within?
better.
You know what?
Honestly, I feel like
we
that
jokingly
movie
said
had
that
more
Spirits Within
interesting
would
thing.
never be beat. And then this movie did come along. It's definitely down there. It's down that big trash can that we have of video
And
game
there
movies.
are two more of these.
Why?
How? Let's see, like Bloodrayne 2. Let's see how much money that grossed.
Watch it have be like 100 million or something crazy.
Well, Bloodrayne 3, I don't have a number down, which makes me think it was direct to video. Because anything that was direct to video didn't have it. So was Bloodrayne 2. That also doesn't have a thing. So they were clearly direct to DVD. Or,
I also don't think
clearly,
the actress or actor who plays the main character.
Yeah, it looks completely different in those. Because I've seen the.
She's not in the other two.
Weird. Or it's a different person. In any case, Bloodrayne is based off a PlayStation 2 game that I don't know too much about, besides the fact that you hunt vampires, and that the little logo, red logo, hanging around their necks is like the game's logo.
Yeah,
and I know that she has the weird sword.
That's a classic, like, satanic symbol. I looked it up just to double check, but yeah, it's like the symbol for sulfur and, hell and shit. But I know like a lot of metal bands that use that, so like, that's why I'm like, oh, I know this, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, I guess. But have you played any of these games or seen anything?
I actually own them. On PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 2 versions digitally, never touched them. And I know WayForward, of all companies, made a 2D side-scroller back on 360 and PS3, Bloodrayne something or other, that I did play a little bit of, did not like at all. I think WayForward is weirdly overrated, like, as an indie dev. They don't really make very good games, in my opinion. But I don't really know much of anything. I know it's a red-haired chick, and I think she's a vampire. That's all I know. And she has, like, the swords. I know she has the weird swords. I'm holding my hands up perpendicular
I never
to the
heard
sky.
of this game before this. I did look it up just to see, like, screenshots or something of it. And the vibe I'm getting is, like, Devil May Cry, God of War energy. But, like, both of those...
Probably bad.
But really bad versions of both in the same game.
I can see this as a slow-moving... action game, but I don't really know too much
with
about it. I didn't look up anything about it.
Puzzles with like
there's a part in this movie where I'm like, I have a feeling this was a boss fight in the game that they made into the thing.
Yeah,
and it's here. This is honest to God. This sums up my whole thing about this. It's a two-parter here. Number one, how the fuck is Meat Loaf a better actor in this film than Michael Madsen? Of all people.
Honestly, Meat Loaf was the best actor in this film. I'm
How?
gonna say it.
He actually showed up. Honest to God, I swear, I have a strong feeling that Michael Madsen was drunk the entire time on set. You watch the way this man holds the props, how he walks, how he talks. He read the script when he said it out loud. He's walking
They
around.
have someone in the back holding up like the cue cards, be like, "You need to say this next."
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of things. I won't say that's wrong about this film. There's nothing like wrong about the film. It's just very amateurish. Yeah. It's just extremely like, we really tried with our set design and our vibe, but our script is terrible and no one knows what they're doing.
There's just, see, like you said, like it's very amateurish. I agree. I mean, the only thing I will get, like, in terms of like the direction or like the cinematography rather of the film, I would say at least some of the landscape shots were good.
Besides the very final shot in the movie, that you just watched this movie. What's the final shot in this movie?
Her getting on a horse and
in like broad daylight, in like a weird. It felt like it was down the street. Like literally, they went down the street from the filming lot and just filmed. And then pan the camera.
You'll see that she has the heart
weird.
now, so she can go out in the light.
It's just everything about this.
There
movie
was
is
one cut though that really bothered the fuck out of me though, and it was toward the end of the film where she's like, "I have to leave you," the boyfriend there, and they exchange the
Sebastian.
They exchange the pendants or whatever they have. And she gets on the boat, right? And it immediately cuts, like, oh, she's there.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
There are definitely some parts in this movie I'm like, oh, that was a skipped scene. They totally skipped a scene right here. They totally... All of a sudden we're familiar with people that we never saw before. Lots of weird stuff like that.
Also, I'm very disappointed in Michelle Rodriguez. I'm very disappointed in her.
Movie's an hour and a half. It felt like it was 3 years. You didn't have to cut all those scenes that I think you cut. Michelle Rodriguez, yes.
Disappointed. I'm like, and she tried
to
do like this
accent was she trying to do?
Michelle,
because she starts off the movie not with that accent. She starts off as Michelle Rodriguez, a vampire hunter,
which would have been totally fine. By the way, she could have just been Michelle Rodriguez for the full film, and I would have been like, cool.
I'm Michael Madsen. We gotta go.
There's a hunt to do.
We have work to do. 30 seconds later, we have more work to do.
We're here.
I'm gonna clumsily pick up the sword.
All the props look real bad.
Whenever any one of those people are holding a sword, they clearly were not given direction on what they were supposed to do with it when they're just maneuvering through a scene holding a prop. You know what I mean? At one point, Michelle Rodriguez tries to put hers away, fails, and has to look down to line it up right. And even then, because it's a tiny little like cloth strap on her like waist thing, she has to just hold the sword anyway with that hand while she's picking whatever she needs to pick up. I noticed and I'm like, you're not on like a single roll of film. You can take multiple shots. This is a large budget film. Take your time. Did Michael Madsen be like, I have 3 hours before I'm supposed to go back to the liquor store? Like, what?
Dude, just
and I mean, no offense to Michael Madsen.
And
he came for a paycheck for this film.
Ben Kingsley's in this film, too.
Exactly, and he looked like he tried, but had no material.
Yeah.
He looks like he actually wanted to be in a gothic, spooky, vampire politics film.
Yeah.
But he was given nothing to do.
This whole movie felt like a play. Like, in terms of the quality of, like, everything. The swords. Some of the set pieces look fine, but there's moments when they didn't at all.
Yeah.
And they they made a lot of decisions that I think hurt them because like that made it feel not as cool or whatnot. Like the flashback scenes look like the soap opera flashback scenes. I'm like, why are you using these effects? Why? Like I'm like, I feel like I'm watching fucking half the shows my mom watched when I came home from school in 2004.
Days of Our Lives,
Days
like
of Our
sands
Lives.
through the hourglass.
Yeah.
And my main thing too is that like you just learn things about the world that you were supposed to know. Like, I don't know what the fuck a damp fire is. I get that that's an actual like thing, but like I guess that's a bad example. But like this movie doesn't open up with being like it is the late 17th century. It is this place. Like, all we know is that China's somewhere else. If you think about it. Because China's name dropped and saying, oh, it's somewhere else. And, like, we don't know what's going... Like, there's no setup for what this place is. And you say it's like a play. To me, honestly, and I'm saying this in a very negative way, this feels like a video game where you, player character, walks up to some random NPC, or has the NPC, it pops up in a cutscene, it says everything that they need to say all at once. Here, you need to take my swords. It's dangerous to go. Here, take them. Goodbye. While the character just emotes and just does a Hideo Kojima main character thing of like puzzling, like looking around. When she's trapped in the cage at the circus, and the woman that had the swords that she accidentally kills when she leaves after being almost raped or whatever, like all this exposition, and it's delivered like such a nonchalant video game of like, I have all these lines to give you. Here are all the lines.
And why did they do that as a flashback instead of just doing it in chronological order, which I think would have made more sense?
You say it's a flashback. I thought that wasn't chronological, which is a bad example because I think everything in this movie is so confusing. I have no idea what was like days happened or whatever. Like, what? There are 3 pieces to
the
Vladimir.
ending of the movie went on for
which goes
5
on forever.
minutes, recaps the entire film.
The one thing I will say, this movie really wants to show you
flashbacks.
bloody, gory violence, and I don't think it's super interesting, but it wants to. And to me, that whole ending thing felt like, oh, let's just get them our money's worth. Let's just show them all of these in a row again.
But like,
why are they showing all the blood?
I didn't think all the blood was that bad at first. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe it's a smaller budget, so I'll let it slide, right? But then them showing it again, but in slow motion, showed how fake it looked, and I'm like, that's the whole point of like, you're like making the poor special the people who work on that stuff, the makeup artists and the I forgot the term for it, but all the people who work on that, all their hard work of like, because it's supposed to be a quick, the camera pans on it for a second,
splatter,
yeah,
stuff like that.
Like, you're doing it in slow motion. To me, you're hurting their work. Like, you're making it look like shit, because I don't think it was terrible. Like, it reminded me a lot of 80s films.
Sure,
like
it's
80s
it's
slasher
old.
films. But, like, when they slowed it down, it looked even worse than that. I'm just like, it looked like... Like, there was one part where the guy's, like, supposed to get cut across the stomach, and you can clearly see, like, it's coming out of his, like, pants or whatever. Like, they have, like, the tube or whatever of blood that gets supposed to squirt out. And they slow it down for, like, 12 seconds. And I'm like... This looked better when it was quick.
It's like, bro, we can see that shit.
Yeah, and like, too many like weird like director decisions or editing decisions where like either, hey, let's make this a flashback instead of just having it happen chronologically, because then that part, the part where she kills everyone in the circus, it starts off with like her like running in the woods like out of nowhere, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, here's a flashback to how she got here.
When she saw her flying in the woods, I thought that was before the circus found her. I'm like, oh, she was running away from home or whatever, and the circus finds her and captures her. And no, it's what you're saying. It's after she killed everyone and is running away. And then at the end of the movie, when they're like, as soon as she sits in the throne with her
which once
Rey
again,
from Star Wars
wants to be
haircut
God
for
of
some
War.
reason.
This is the vibe I get, because like literally the first God of War game, not the recent one, but the original God of War game, it ends with him on the throne, and like it's like recapping everything that he did.
Revenge is gotten, and now he's technically there. But
Yeah.
she sits down, and they start doing all the flashbacks or whatever scenes. I honestly confused at the purpose of them, besides showing
It's
lots
almost
of
like,
blood, therefore
oh,
she's
trauma.
hungry. Yeah. They show the circus of them like, oh, she's going to go back and kill all of them because there's some people left. No, wait, this already happened before. Like, it's just so... I hate being a person that's just like, this movie's terrible and here's why. Like, again, like, I don't think the movie does things quote unquote wrong. It's subjective. It's a film. It's just very amateurish and very like, just, I can see elements where, like, again, like, they built a set. They built multiple sets. Like, there was an attempt. You at least had one named actor that wanted to do something,
which is cool because that's like where a lot of like gothic, mythology comes from. So I'm like, cool. You went to a place where Dracula came from, and I guess I did see that the castle, when the castle they were in, that Vlad the Impaler stayed there. I guess at one point, like, that's cool.
Okay,
but like, it just wasn't executed well. Straight up.
This is a movie that I do not want to recap. Besides, like, naming large events that happen.
We can do that.
But it's just like, you have, I forget, her name was Rain. That's what her name was.
Bloodrayne.
I guess. I didn't know that. Maybe that's made up for the movie.
Kagan,
and you have
Vladimir,
Sebastian.
Katerin.
Yeah, Sebastian, a person that I think very clearly wanted to be a young Harrison Ford at one point in his life. And then you have Michael Madsen's character, Vlad. And then, yeah, you have Michelle Rodriguez's Cataracts, or whatever her fucking name was.
I just realized Katerin's Michelle Rodriguez, the character's dad, like, has like 2 scenes that is never talked about again. I just realized that.
Who was that actor, by the way?
He's from the Scorpion King, but not The Rock.
He's also from other stuff, because I've seen him before.
He's in Titanic, Back to the Future Part 2, The Phantom. You probably saw him from Back to the Future, I would guess. He's in The Boys at one point.
I never saw that.
Deception. A lot of TV shows. Dead Rising Endgame.
Billy Zane. Okay, that's who it is.
He's in Community.
They're doing him a Gruber
Psych.
TV show? Psych. That's how I know him. I know him from Psych.
He's Ian Collins. But yeah, a lot of TV shows. Charmed. Holy shit, I remember Charmed.
That is also where I know him from. I watch Charmed fucking every day.
He's in Twin Peaks. He's in Critters. He's in Back to the Future, yeah. So we have like a lot of actors in here that like done shit. You know what I mean? So it's not like it was all like, it wasn't like amateur actors either.
But it's so bizarre though, because like, I want to know how shit. The only actor name I could think of is fucking Billy Zane. Who was bad? Who was Keegan?
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley. How did they hoodwink Ben Kingsley to be in this movie? I honestly think it was just like scary, dark, gothic, vampire politics. You're the bad guy. Sweet. In a British accent, he would have said sweet, like
sweet bruv.
And also, remember that guy was also the bad guy in Prince of Persia?
Holy shit, yeah. We're going to make that's canon now. It's the same guy.
It's the same fucking person, right? And that was, 4 years later? So he was like, maybe I'll try another video game movie.
It's crazy how the difference in quality is. 4 years later, just like that shows how much like Disney money gets you.
I mean, that was a produced live-action Disney film. Like, that is, it's tough to...
No, I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy to think that, like, because this movie, like I said, this movie felt like it came out in the 80s, straight up. Like, this movie came out in 1988. Honestly, I wish this movie came out in 1988, because then I would be more forgiving of, like, the quality of it. Also, can I just say, we haven't talked about it yet, but is this the first sex scene in a video game movie?
That could be. It was also very boring. Not that I really need like something interesting out of that, but it just felt like it just happened. You know what I mean? It was just all of a sudden it's just there. Like
there was even nipple lick, and I was that was right. I was caught off guard with that. I was not, because one thing I was already shocked when the sex scene was happening. I'm like, I was more shocked when the boobs came out, and I was like, oh, like because like in Tomb Raider movies, like everyone's like, oh, she's sexy, right? It's Tomb Raider, right? And like. Right. but they'll never show it. Like, they think in the first Tomb Raider movie they showed like a little bit of side boob or whatever. You know, they showed her backside.
There was something, right?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, but like you're never supposed to show the full thing. You know, like that's the whole. You know, these sexy characters never show the full thing. Even like fucking Mortal Kombat 9 when they had all the gross women models that they made them like just trashy. You know what I mean? That they even then they still didn't show like nipples and shit. You know what I mean? So I looked up to see, does the game have any sex in it or even just nudity? No. Which I found interesting. So like they're like, no, we need to have this sex scene in it. Because I think they didn't need that sex scene. They could have kissed, made out a little bit. But no, the top comes off and I'm like, damn. Was not expecting that. And then the nipple lick, damn. And then she's hanging on the fucking jail cell, dude. Damn. Like, I don't think we're going to see this in another video game movie. That intense, that crazy sex scene. I mean, I still think this is the first sex scene, at least that we've watched, right? There hasn't been any...
that we've ever watched.
In a video game movie.
In a video game movie, yeah, sure. I do remember one in Detective Pikachu between...
What?
No,
I was gonna say.
I was gonna name two Pokemon.
I mean, like if they like referenced it or like hinted at it, I don't count that. I'm saying like they show it. Then I think the historic, like, this movie might not be good, but historically speaking, this is the first video game movie that I know of that shows boobs, that shows sex, and also a boob lick. I don't think anyone's gonna.
Also, Meat Loaf surrounded by women. So you saw the naked woman first, was that?
With Meat Loaf.
With Meat Loaf.
Yeah.
This is not where I've seen Billy Zane from, but this is an epiphany I now have.
Yeah.
Or not epiphany. I am shocked. I am surprised. Billy Zane was the bad guy in Kingdom Hearts. The first Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh.
I'm like, huh. And then I'm like, wait, but that character is in other ones. He's not him in the other ones. So, weird. And I also thought the guy that voiced him died, and Billy Zane is not dead. Interesting. Yeah, it's very weird. The structure of this movie, it's not even interesting as a revenge story, because we really don't, number one, so a good revenge story, in my opinion, needs to... And when I say a good revenge story, I mean one where you root for the protagonist to get their revenge, like it's earned, even if it means murder or whatever. Like you want it as much as the character wants it. I think a good one of those needs to show multiple examples of the bad guy, in quotes, trauma, torture, whatever, to our protagonist. You know, Kill Bill is an obvious easy example of a really good revenge story, sure. But like one of those, and plus like the bad person needs to also be interesting, and they did not give Ben Kingsley anything to do interesting wise besides he ate probably a virgin's blood or whatever. When the little girl or whatever comes in. Besides that, he says, like, my plans. Like, you don't have any plans. They didn't write any plans down for you to have. You don't have plans, Ben Kingsley. They never gave you plans.
He's like, get ready to see the start of a new era. Of what?
Of what? He wants all three pieces to do what? That's my thing.
Because in this world that they show in the very beginning that vampires just seem to be everywhere.
Yeah,
almost
it seems like they're doing okay.
Like they're what? Like I would say, like out of like if there's three people in a room, or one out of three people. I don't know why I'm using a fucking analogy. 1 out of 3 people is a vampire. It feels like in this movie.
Yeah,
or knows a vampire.
God, like it did. One thing I will say this movie was successful at was making me think, like, man, if this was real life, you would just be preyed upon almost instantly. Like you would walk out and you would
I was
just
actually
get
intrigued
killed.
how there was humans still alive, considering how it felt outnumbered they were. But people also acted like, oh, it is what it is, kind of, because like at the very first scene, they're at the bar there, and the guy's like, he's like, I know there's a vampire. He kills him, he dies, right? And the guy's like, oh, ha ha ha, and they keep talking as if it happens all the fucking time. It's like, oh, we killed another vampire today. What a crazy day at work, right? Oh, just another day at the office. Just weird. Cool concept, but like, Yeah, what new era? What, you're just all vampires? I mean, I feel like you're on the way there.
He doesn't have a plan.
Do you need all these other guys?
There isn't like
the magic heart or whatever.
I don't know, but I'm not convinced at all about her need for revenge. I'm not convinced at all that she has anything about her that's worthwhile.
I like how, too, like, after that flashback scene from the circus, she finds that, like, the people, they're, like, riding in the carriage, and they're attacked by vampires, and she kills the vampires, and, like, they're like, no, don't kill me, and she's, like, all of a sudden, just like, oh, no, I won't kill you. And and by the way, I won't have any, like, lust to kill you. Like, some vampire films do that, where it's like, the vampire doesn't want to kill people, but they get so hungry that they must, or they have to fight themselves. Right. And that's what that one circus scene showed. I'm like, okay, like, she's going out and killing everybody. She even kills her friend there, right? Or her idol or whatever, or someone that she looked up to. But then all of a sudden now she's like, nah, I'm in full control. I got this.
Like, I'm cool. I just,
yeah,
blood's blood, I don't need people blood. Like, what? You eat vampire blood that does the same for you as eating... I mean, like, sure, it's convenient for making you a sympathetic protagonist because you don't have to be a bad person if you don't want to be, but, like...
It conflicted with the previous scene. It'd be different if it, like, over time, she, like, I don't need this blood. That'd be fine. And it's not that
she
but
was,
it was literally,
like...
within 5 minutes, it was, like, she went from, I can't control, I'm... Because she basically, what? Like, it was a trigger, basically, from that guy, like, getting on top of her, right? That she...
Right.
And then that's how it happens. So, like, if that was the case, if it was a trigger, I feel like they needed to do one more scene like that to show that it was not her lust for blood, and rather it was the trauma. But they never talk about it. They don't do it again. And the only thing they mention is, like, I don't want to kill y'all. I'm chill. That's it. And then at the jail cell scene, she's like, yeah, do you have any blood, basically? Y'all have, like, pints of blood anywhere? Do you have any rats? Like, that's the only time they ever really mention her, like, thirst. And that's just, it's just like, and I've seen a lot of vampire films, and they just, like, they could have easily just copied those, and they don't.
Makes me honestly wonder what this game has story-wise that this is based off of. Like, I get it, you are probably, a vampire, damnfire, or whatever, and you kill vampires. Like, that's probably just the ramp up in the game is you kill all the vampires, and, like,
I do like that she went and got different, like, items, right? She got the eyeball, and then now she can go in water, and eventually she gets the heart. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's kind of like the power-ups in video games where you get new armor or whatever it is.
I forget about that, though.
I know what I'm saying, but, like, I like that, like, they did that. Like, that's a step in the right direction. If anything, I feel like that's closer, like I said, it's a video game movie stuff that we would like to see more of. And I think even Prince of Persia, I feel like could have done a little bit more of that, where, like, he got maybe a new sword or something in some way, like, to kind of make reference to, like, hey, this is a video game movie.
Sure.
I mean? But without making
I think, I don't know. Prince of Persia, I feel like they did so much parkour stuff. I feel like that's all those games were.
Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
like, there's a video game feeling stuff in here, but I will say it's not handled in any way that makes me realize that. And if anything, it just feels like MacGuffins. There's just 3 MacGuffins. Because I forget, honest God, when she said she can go in water, I'm like, oh yeah. So I guess that's how she was able to swim and fight Michelle Rodriguez in the water. And then she dies. And it's like, cool.
Michelle Rodriguez's death, by the way, was hilarious. They're like, because I thought they were gonna, like, get out of the water, and, like, she was gonna have to fight the 2 dudes and her, like, some with the swords or whatnot. And she
can't handle that choreography.
She gets out of the water, and she just snaps her neck and then bites her, and then she's like, ah, and classic vampire stuff. And then where'd the guards go? I don't know. I don't remember.
Whatever. I know we're screaming over here, but they ain't coming. Michelle Rodriguez's character decides, you know what? I'm going to let all the vampire hunters die because Billy Zane wrote me a convincing letter.
Oh, by the way,
I know is also a vampire.
I did look up the director, Uwe Boll. He is on our list of potential movies down the line.
Yes, I know. He's
which
German filmmaker.
Which makes me concerned. He's alone in the dark. Interesting.
We have one coming up that I'm like, Well, another thing too. At one point, Sebastian, aka young Harrison Ford wannabe, gives Rain a set of new clothes. Did she ever change clothes, or was it exactly the same? I don't think it was any different.
So because Bryn was watching with me, and I am
I'm sorry.
and I said, yeah, we were both like laughing the whole time. And I was like, did she change clothes? And because she usually has good attention to detail to like, I feel like clothing or whatnot. Like she's always good at like being like, oh, that character has earrings on now, or like things I don't notice. But she's like, oh, she got like arm sleeves. That was it. And I will say that like, and like her whole outfit in general is just fucking
interesting. So 2000s.
But I still found I found it and just it was too much. And like I get it looks kind of like the game, looks pretty close to the game. But I'm like, you could have done it more tastefully. I think it could have been, you could be sexy. Once again, we talk about this with like Bayonetta and stuff, where it's like you could be, you can make her sexy or whatnot, but like just
showing
skin doesn't make you.
I don't think she was sexy at all. She just happened to wear
I feel like
stuff.
that's what their intent was, though.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I see.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Weirdly fell flat. She has obvious cleavage, but like that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those
she's
pants
showing
were
her belly.
very weird.
Yeah. Like
very weird.
But like, if
no one
anything,
else
though, I felt
dresses
Michelle
like that,
Rodriguez's
too.
outfits I felt were cooler, and I wish they just gave her like
at one point she gets like a fucking Carmen Sandiego pink jacket and shit. I'm like, you have this?
It was cool.
When did you guys get these clothes? Weird.
And what's funny is like this movie came out around the time another vampire movie, action movie that I feel like is so much better. So if you liked this as a concept, and I can recommend you something, just watch Underworld with Kate Beckinsale. All right, watch that. If you want an actual gothic vampire but like Matrixy action film, Underworld.
Yeah, but Devin, the choreography in this movie, these action scenes. Oh man. The swords are like never in frame because they're not actually doing anything.
They're made of cardboard.
They have one metal clink sound. Tonk, 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 tonk over and over again. There's a scene where like fucking Michael Madsen and this other Sebastian guy go up to Meat Loaf's lair and they're like, there's only one way in. And then you just see them just shooting arrows, and it's just, I think it's supposed to be played for comedy, like, 2 people die from arrows, but, like, it's cut so wrongly. The action scenes,
I like how they know what this place is, and they're supposed to be vampire hunters, but they never
cleared it before?
Never cleared it out.
No.
For some reason, Meat Loaf's, like, knows
you
them,
have,
too,
like,
so,
some
like,
vampire lord living there. Like, this is an aristocrat of the vampire
By the way, this
society.
is basically a vampire crack house. Like I realized, because everyone was getting high off blood in that place, and I'm like, that's cool. I want to go there.
You can almost see that whoever the main actress is was taught more sword fighting stuff as they were filming. Because when she and I get it, like, they're supposed to be like, oh, she doesn't really know how to use them, and then she gets trained. But, like, even then, when they're trying to show her doing stuff and trying to show that it was, like, wow, she just roundhouse kicked that man, it's, like, a really, like, wussy kind of, like, leg raise in the air thing. All of the, like, her swinging is just so, like, just clumsy, I guess is the best way I can say it. Everything about the fights is pretty bad.
I want a video game movie with like sword fighting where they only have like 2 attacks in the beginning of the movie, and as they go on they can learn a couple more attacks and maybe some air combos. I would love that. As like they fully commit to that. They're like, no, this guy can only,
you get the dodge roll at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah. yeah, like all of a sudden, like I want them to be like very like upfront about it too. They're like, the guy's like, oh, I have this urge. I feel like I can do a dodge roll now. And like the guy does it.
I just realized I have iframes if I roll through the attacks. Okay, what?
Yeah, the other guy's like, what? What do you mean by
exactly. And he goes to take a swing, and you can clearly see the man rolls through the sword, and it doesn't do anything.
The guy's like how does that work?
And it's just the same move he does over and over again. I will say there was one shot where Rain comes up to the Brimstone Society. They're all dead or whatever, and Cataracts or whatever Michelle Rodriguez's character's name was like, or no, after like the bad guy that was hunting her down was like looking over. I'm like, seeing all like the way all these bodies are strewn and like the fire and the night. I'm like, I kind of want to shut this movie off and play fucking Dark Souls or something. This is what it feels like. I'd much rather get the experience of an actual just destitute in sorrow. This world sucks. And I get at the end, she's like, well, I was never really a good person, I guess. This is all I ever wanted was to kill Dad for raping Mom and making me. And then murdering Mom. I don't know why. Like what spurred on... Like, is the implication that she raised her daughter for clearly, like, 9-10 years in secret? Because he comes and he's like, where's the girl? Like, what do you mean? Where's the girl?
Yeah, that's like, and like she was like 5. I'm like, imagine trying to hide a 5-year-old in a house.
Yeah, that was years. That was years
for 5 years.
Also, and again, we talk about nitpicking. We talk about like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Therefore, the whole movie falls apart or whatever, plot hole type shit. But like, why would he keep her around? Clearly, seeing that she's pregnant. You're saying that you never interacted with her when she was 5 to 9 months pregnant, where it was noticeable? Like, aren't you supposed to be the super bad guy who wants to keep his vampireness a secret? But then has, like, whatever is okay killing her anyway?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm glad, by the way, the one sex scene wasn't a Ben Kingsley sex scene, because I don't know if I would have wanted to see that.
Did you realize, how many of the Terminator movies have you seen?
1, 2, the one with Christian Bale, and the latest.
Okay, so you haven't seen Terminator 3, which
No.
I actually think, granted, I watched it a lot when I was younger. I thought was all right. Like, I don't think it was that bad. But Rain, the actor for Rain is, she's the Terminator. And I didn't know that until I looked it up. I'm like, wow. But it was like a couple years later.
Which was later? This movie?
Terminator 3, I think. Or was it Terminator 3 before that?
Terminator 3 was not after 2006.
I think Terminator 3 was 2003, so you might be right. Hold on, let me double check. Yeah, 2003, Rise of the Machines.
Weird. Our first Terminator was Michael Schwarzenegger.
Michael Schwarzenegger.
Our second one was a metal man. The third one, a girl.
Yeah, Christina Logan. And, like, Terminator's a big franchise, right? It's a good start to have, I feel like. And then, like, after Bloodrayne, though, she wasn't in anything, and I feel bad because, like, I don't think it was necessarily her fault.
You know what this movie reminds me of on a similar level? The Mummy, which is a far better movie that I also don't like.
With the Ben Fraser movies?
Yeah, the Ben Fraser movies.
I need to watch those again. It's been years. But I remember
my mom loves those movies.
They're fun,
and I hated them because she watched them over and over, and I'm
That's
like,
why
do you like
them.
these?
That's probably why you don't like them. Is because
most likely. I also just don't like the idea of like innocent people walking into a room and getting eaten alive by scarabs. So I just didn't find that fair. It's like, again, I'm like, these. I didn't really have a good concept of what a horror movie was, and I'm like, oh, this is like Indiana Jones, but why are they all dying? I don't like this. This isn't cool. Nor is this movie.
It tries so hard to be cool, though. It really tries. But it's
Michael
just...
Mad. Like, I this is how I see the casting working, dude. We're getting the guy from the Tarantino movies. We're getting Michael fucking Madsen.
Okay. Who else we getting?
Let's give him the script the day before filming.
Okay. But who cares? Who else we getting, though? Who else we getting?
All our money went on that. And, Ben Kingsley's here.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But no, like, I can just see them being like, we're going to get Michael fucking Madsen. And he shows up drunk and they're like, but it's Michael Madsen, I guess. They're not going to be able to smell him when they watch the movie, so... Like, that man just fucking rolled over.
So Michelle Rodriguez, let's go back to her for a second. So she was in Resident Evil.
Yep.
Better video game movie than this.
Yeah.
She was better in that.
Yeah. Also starring a redhead woman.
Yeah. Then
Fast and Furious.
Then she's doing Fast and Furious, right? So what Fast and Furious is she on at this point? I forget.
She wasn't in any of them besides the first one and then F4, which is 2009.
Okay, so like I'm just trying
but
to think
then even
of her
then,
career.
like, she dies.
So I wonder. Like, I'm glad that Fast 4 came out, and like and she was able to do that because like it seemed like everyone else's career, besides Ben Kingsley, maybe, just what goes down.
Let's look at Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, I know we don't like G2A, but if you want a Bloodrayne Steam key, it's $8.
Ooh. Again, I have those on PS3. Okay, so she is in 2000's Girl Fight, 2001's 3 AM, then The Fast and the Furious, then Resident Evil, Blue Crush. She was in the video game True Crime Streets of LA. I rented that. It was a GTA, but you were a cop. And at the time, I was like, oh, but you're a good guy. Now I realize, no. You're almost worse than being the GTA man. She was also in Halo 2 as a Marine.
Michelle Rodriguez?
Yeah.
Oh, now we definitely need to play Halo 2.
She was in Driver 3.
She's in Halo Reach, though.
Okay, Bloodrayne. Then
that's the real question.
Some movies I don't know. Then Fast and Furious. Then Avatar. She was in Lost for like a while. Huh. Well, she's in the next Resident Evil movie, I guess. Sorry. The next one on our list to watch.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Huh. She has a movie called One Percenters. I think she's in a Drake video.
Hell yeah.
She's in Alita Battle Angel. She's in the Smurfs movie.
I think she is in Alita Battle. I think she had like a very small scene, though, if I remember correctly.
She's uncredited. Weird. She's in the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yes, sir.
Oh, she was in Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Okay. Is that the one with Marshawn Lynch?
I don't know. Oh, on the cover? It's like a sports game.
No, I mean the Marshawn Lynch was like one of the characters in one of the Call of Duty campaigns.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, besides, I'm not noticing any other, like, she was in Battle Los Angeles. I think that was one of the ones I've seen a commercial for. She was in the animated snail movie Turbo, I think.
Good for her, though.
Sure. I mean, Fast and Furious, is
that's what I'm saying.
95% of her income.
She didn't let this movie derail her. You know what I mean?
Well, she's also not in the sequels to Bloodrayne, but everyone dies except her main character, who.
And based off what I'm seeing from the
left.
other two movie titles, is it sounds like they go through different eras. So she probably leaves, and then it's going to be 100 years later, and then they're like, oh, we have a different actor now, so we can kind of make it work. But one of them is called Bloodrayne 3 in the Third Reich.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yay.
She's going to be hunting Nazis.
Yes, sir. By the way, I did look up the other games, though, and I guess there was like a reboot of Bloodrayne called Bloodrayne Betrayal.
Yeah, it's the Way Forward game that I played a bit of that I did not find interesting at all.
At least it looks cooler than what I saw of the PS2.
Sure. It was a 2D side scroller. It was not fun to play. It's actually just got re-released on PS4.
I was going to say September
Xbox.
9th. Not even so less than a month ago.
Yeah, not a good game. I don't recommend it.
It's on Switch. Looks like it should be a Switch game. It looks like a Switch game a little bit.
I mean, it was an Xbox Live Arcade game, so.
I mean, like I'm saying, like
your main character here in Bloodrayne was in the Mortal Kombat TV show.
Hell yeah! Oh, speaking of which, you know who basically did Bloodrayne but cooler and better? Mortal Kombat 11, Scarlet, which is like one of my mains. She uses like blood and stuff as like weapons, but she has like the red and black like clothing and whatnot. And she just is cool.
I thought you meant like in terms of a movie, but sure.
Oh, there's no movie of her yet.
I forget. Yeah, I'm looking through her. She's been in stuff. None that I really know. And I can't tell if these are a TV show or not.
I mean, I'm joking that people's careers went down, but like I'm saying, like when you're in like Terminator, I feel like you can only go up. You know what I mean? Like in terms of
but that was
big movie
the
franchise.
bad Terminator movie, so to speak. So like that doesn't mean
Terminator 3 is a lot better than a lot of the other ones after it, except for maybe the latest one, whatever that one was called. I forget it already.
How many Terminator movies are there besides T1, 2, 3?
7.
Okay, so then there's the one with Christian Bale.
It's 4. And then there was another one.
There was Regenesis that I didn't see.
Didn't see that one.
And then there was Dark Fate.
That's the one we saw, right?
That's the one we saw, yeah.
So that's 6.
Yeah. So you're saying this is better than essentially T4 with Christian Bale, starring Christian Bale.
That one's real bad.
That was the first Terminator movie I saw, and I was like, oh.
And then that's also the one where
this
he yelled
world
at
looks like
the
it
guy.
sucks.
He yelled at the guy with the lights, and it like leaked that video.
Oh,
that's that movie.
Right.
He's like, can you fucking stop? I'm trying to do my fucking job. I'm the fucking Terminator. Oh, that's not what he said. That's what I reimagined it as. But no, I mean, like, yeah, this movie just... I feel bad for all the...
We derailed this movie.
Yeah.
Or this podcast episode about this movie. But yeah, no, you're right. Like, it's just unfortunate is the best, I think, way I can describe this movie is unfortunate.
Because I don't think any of the actors are necessarily bad, sort of say, but just, like, everything
Some
else...
of them don't try.
I just feel like, except for, like, what's his name? But, like, even then, I just feel like it just, from top down... just execution was just bad, except for maybe like whoever did the helicopter drone shots or whatever you want to call them for like when they were riding the horse through the valley. Like besides that, I don't know if anyone did their job the best as that they could have.
I guess maybe we should just line up a plot sort of. She's captured. She's a captured person. She's a vampire. Her father is the vampire king, I guess. And she leaves. Some vampire hunters chase after her because they think she's bad, but I guess they would assume that she's bad. Then she becomes a part of their society. She's captured. Meat Loaf is killed. There are 3 MacGuffins that are made from the original vampire or something like that. Yeah. When they're all put in the same vampire, they become the strongest person ever. This is one of those types of stories where, like, it is assumed that the religion of Christianity is real because legit holy water works and crucifixes work on vampires, but like none of that is actually in the story, which I find interesting. She's trained by them. Michelle Rodriguez doesn't trust her. Her dad's a vampire, played by Billy Zane, who's in 2 scenes, probably filmed in an hour and a half. Daddy, played by Ben Kingsley, has plans. She gets one of the 3 MacGuffins. An entire church order is killed. Nuns with bows. Yeah.
Which I'm still shocked they let her in the first place. Like, I'd be like, yo, that girl's a vampire. If I'm a priest or whatever, I've been like, bruh, that's evil shit. I'm going to let her in.
She is wearing a crucifix. How is that possible? But they know vampires can, I guess. Which is interesting. I always thought a crucifix had to actually have Jesus on it. Otherwise, it's just a cross. But
I don't know. Ask Dominic Toretto.
I'm going to say ask Jeeves. Which is probably a legit question you could have gotten a real answer to on Ask Jeeves.
Rest in peace.
She goes there. They train her. She fucks. They're okay with her. Michelle Rodriguez doesn't trust her. Michelle Rodriguez betrays them all.
If she got pregnant, though, would her baby be 1/4 vampire?
Maybe that happens in the second movie. Even if I don't even know if it's the same person. I guess maybe
it's
because the title person, it has to have.
But like, it's a different actor. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a different person. I'm like, oh, this person, yeah. Because
the actor is different, but the character isn't. No.
Yeah.
And I don't see a kid on the cover, so I'm assuming there's no kid. A 1/4 vampire. I don't know if it works like that, but
let's see what else. And she fights Dad and wins.
But the people are betrayed by Michelle Rodriguez's character.
Yep.
But then it's fine. Like it's resolved because
no, I think honestly everyone's dead but her. I think, honest to God, everyone in this movie is dead except
all of
for
Romania.
Her.
The population went to 0 in this film.
Probably everyone dies. Why is Meat Loaf the best actor in this film? Why is it Meat Loaf? When I saw his name pop up in the pre-credits,
I can't. I was like, this,
what?
But like, we need more Meat Loaf in this film.
I'm like, wait a second. Michael Madsen's in this movie. Meat Loaf? Ben Kingsley? And it's bad? Like, well, something must have gone wrong. Ooh, watching this movie. Ooh.
So does anyone own
Happy-
the rights? Still
happy
to Bloodrayne?
Halloween
I mean,
month.
obviously this
That game got a re-release.
Well, that's what I'm
but
saying. So like they own the IP, right? Still, then
I don't think Wait Forward owns it. Let's see.
like who owns the
Publisher Majesco. Oh.
IP? Jesco.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Stuff. I guess.
Oh
That
shit! It is on
looks
Switch.
small.
Oh, I need to get this for Switch. I do like the cover. It's more like what's it?
Bloodrayne Betrayal?
Yeah, Fresh
Don't
Bites.
get it.
Don't get
Devin, I played it. Don't get it. Well, actually, Limited Run Games has a physical copy.
Does it? Do they? I mean, look at the
Yeah.
cover. Okay, outside of the gameplay, I do like where they're going with this. Like, it's more anime.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Laura Bailey also voices her in this game, too.
it's more anime. You see this shit? Like, look, I
Yeah.
love the colors. I love her character design.
The game just wasn't fun to play.
What made it not fun for you? Like, was it just the combat was slow?
The combat and the controls were very weird, and I just couldn't get a grasp on it. And like
Only
again,
1.2
like,
gigabytes, baby.
and this was also before like I kind of gained an opinion about WayForward. I'm like, wow, WayForward's very overrated from specifically Nintendo fans, and I don't really
Troy
understand why.
Baker and Laura Bailey and Troy Baker reprised their roles as Rain and Kagan. So Kagan's is in this game, dude. Are we ever? I forget. Are we reviewing the other movies? Is that on our list officially or no?
Oh, Bloodrayne? Yeah, we want what we want to do. I don't know. What we want to do is every October we make sure that the video game movies we talk about in that month are like spooky related. So yeah, next year we'll do Bloodrayne 2, and then the year after that Bloodrayne 3.
Maybe I'll make that my homework. Is by next year, I'll play this game and come back to you to see if
This game?
Yeah, and I'll try to beat it and see what the
$20
plot is. I'll wait for it to get cheaper. I'm just saying. The cover art sold me on it. That like this gives me hope. You know, I'm gonna say it. I'm a Bloodrayne fan, but not a fan of the movies. But I haven't played any of the games either. I'm a Bloodrayne fan.
I have the PS2 games on PS3 digitally. Oh wait, no, it's not on limited run anymore. It ran out its run. Oh damn! But you can get Turok and Turok 2 on PS4.
I don't know.
You can get Quake on PS5.
I mean, I'll just get it digitally if I.
I don't know. Maybe it's been a long time since I played it. Again, I played that on PS3.
But this is Fresh Bites.
Like it.
It's redone. It's new. It could be better.
It's not redone. It's just playing on a new console.
But what if it's
unless they redid the voice
What if it was
acting.
made for Switch? All right. What if this was a Switch?
Oh, so what you're seeing is the new box art, Devin.
Yeah.
This was the old box art for in quotes because it was digital.
Okay.
This was the old one digitally.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's bad. I like this a lot better. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
Where like that sells me. If I just saw that, I'd be like, anime girl.
WayForward has this weird
She
like
looks satanic.
we really want to have
That's my shit.
hot women in our cartoony platformer games.
Yeah.
That's their weird thing.
I mean, they know what I want. I want a satanic.
Cool.
Anime
Why don't you
girl.
fucking play Shantae then as well
What's
and
that?
be one of those people? Google it yourself. I was
How do
like,
you spell it?
man, I'm going to play all the
Shan-
Shantae. Guys, it's like the rarest Game Boy Color game ever
Wait, what is this?
because it came out in like 2003.
I've never seen this.
She's
person
a
before.
genie girl. People
Oh,
are
there's
like,
her as
"Please put her,
Samus.
put her in Smash Brothers, guys, please." It's like, no, she has purple
I
hair.
mean, she's pretty cute here, Ethan. It's this picture here. I think she's pretty cute.
I backed on Kickstarter a
look at
Shantae
that.
game.
Look
Oh,
how
that's
that's how fun she is.
That's fan art. I don't know. I just find WayForwards very weird. I'm like, they're not nearly as good as people like treat them. But hey, they're making money. They did make a video game tie-in to the Tom Cruise Mummy movie that apparently was all right.
How did we circle back to the Mummy again? But a different Mummy. Remember when that trailer came out, dude? Ah! God damn! I missed that time of Twitter. You know what I mean? You ever miss that time of Twitter? I do.
There are only 2 days on Twitter that I've ever seen people genuinely happy without the misery of millennial humor at how much they suffer. It was recently when Facebook got like deleted, and then 1 year and 1 day earlier when Trump got COVID. It's the only time I've ever seen Twitter unified and how happy they are. Well, we've gone on for like an hour. This movie, I think it's safe to say this is at the bottom. This is the lowest position.
Bottom 3.
I will throw this out there that I do think Spirits Within is better than this.
It's been a while since we've seen Spirits Within, but they're both bad. It doesn't matter. Who cares if who's number 1 or number 2? If you're in the bottom 3, dog, you don't want to be down there. You know, if you're in the bottom 3 right now, you're hoping that we watch something worse so that we forget about you. For right now, it's exactly like Mortal Kombat, Armageddon, I think, is down there. Then it would be Spirits Within and then this movie. But I feel like we're missing one.
We always talk about Assassin's Creed, but I feel like Assassin's Creed is
boring.
A little bit better made.
This is boring.
Okay, so here are the video game movies we've actually watched for the show.
I feel like we're missing one big one that real stunk, and I just feel like we're forgetting about it because it stunk.
Let me list them all off. Detective Pikachu, the Sonic OVA, the Sonic movie, Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil, Tomb Raider, Spirits Within, Prince of Persia, Silent Hill, Resident Evil Apocalypse, Assassin's Creed, Tomb Raider 2, Warcraft, Monster Hunter, Resident Evil Extinction.
I think Monster Hunter is the one I'm thinking of.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Mortal Kombat 2021, Hitman, Mario Brothers.
Dude, I forgot about
Resident
Hitman.
Evil Afterlife.
We did Hitman this year. I forgot about it.
And Street Fighter. Honestly, no. I mean, Monster Hunter, I still feel like is more fun than these other 3 movies.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's still down there, though. Like, I'm just saying I forgot. But that's the dream of being a bad movie, is you forget that it happened. Like the Mario movie.
We have some other movies coming up that I think are going to be.
So next movie review episode, I think are we allowed to say what the next one is? I mean, I actually already tweeted it out. Actually,
yeah, I saw your tweet. We're doing Silent Hill Revelation.
Can we want to do like a guess of what that movie's going to either be about, or like what you think it's going to? Do you think it's going to be not good or bad, but just like what do you think is going to? How's it going?
I can see it being competent. I'm without looking at, I guess, how much it made. I don't think it. I'm assuming it didn't make very much. Probably just had an all right story, but like the effects were basically a lot like the first one. Is what I'm honestly thinking.
I think that
or maybe they were just influenced by Saw and it was really bad or something. I don't know.
So because I generally like the first one. I think it's cool. Has some cool stuff, and I remember talking about it. But yeah, the fact that I never heard about this one though is concerning. That I feel like it's going to be a real bad. And I'm nervous, especially after watching Bloodrayne. I was hyped for October. I love October. I watch my Halloween movies every October, and I'm real bummed that Bloodrayne fucking stunk.
There aren't pretty good sounding video game spooky movies.
Yeah,
the ones I've compiled for
someone
potential
do Dead
October
Space
ones.
or something and make it fine, please. Just at least fine. I'll take fine. You know, like come on. God.
Yeah, U-Bowl has made a lot of video game movies, I guess. So we'll see more in the future.
Him and
this man's work.
What's his name for Resident Evil there?
Yeah, I was actually gonna say like that man puts that man on a pedestal a bit.
We should have them work
together.
A
stinker. Should have them fight.
Have to.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Sonic Movie Show is a weekly podcast, as you all know. Rate the show on iTunes. I think you can still do that. Subscribe on the YouTube thing if you listen to it. Watch it there.
Good comment.
Do whatever. We are on Twitter at Sonic Movie Show. I'm on Twitter at Ethan Ethan Absolutely. Yep. Got my own fucking name mixed up. And Devin is on Twitter at Cursona Fun. Right? Or is it YouTube?
It's fun.
Shit. Okay.
You're
Jesus,
good. You're good, dog. You got it. See, all this blood rain in your head, dude.
I need someone to drain it out of me all sexy like. Or at least an attempt
Hang on to the fucking jail cell, you vampire.
I feel like these movie reviews, I mean, this one, I'm sorry, we didn't put in a whole lot of effort because this movie didn't deserve it. We do a better job talking about Vin Diesel movies and Michelle Rodriguez movies by way of Vin Diesel.
We've actually watched a lot of Michelle Rodriguez movies, just weirdly enough.
on our other podcast, The Chronicles of Diesel. Just every month, the first of the month, you finished paying rent? Cool, watch us. That's how you celebrate another month of being able to not be evicted. Yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Sonic Movie Show. Goodbye.